here should be a flex pick. It should be able to go to either Baron lane or the mid lane, and that's what makes it so powerful. I think for Alliance, though, it's a little bit too obvious that it's going to go to Jelson because of how comfortable he's been on this. It's supposed to empower the Galio as well, but the issue with this and showing this so quickly is that now Divine Esports get to go and play for very powerful matchups against anyone else. So you get the Darius and the Gragas early. You don't really have to worry about Javan in lane. Yeah, there we go, right? So the Riven is likely going to go back to SSK, who's going to try and be a playmaker, and you're probably still going to see some empowering towards Azuraveki in the mid lane. Now, what I hope to see from Divine is... yeah! Okay,
there it is.
Yeah. All right, going back to their roots. And I just have to really quickly point out the stakes here. Alliance have to get this draw if they still want to stand a chance to leapfrog past Flash Wolves. Because if they tie with Flash Wolves, they are immediately fourth.
Yeah, and you know what? I do agree. You know, Jelson, he does do great on the Jarvan 4. He actually earned the nickname Jelson 4 when he was playing back with the Icon Series Philippines. But it just seems like something that Divine Esports is really prepared for. The question is, can Alliance possibly be prepared for this Zed that's coming in, Rafa?
Oh my god, we're gonna get it! The Coyote Zed special! I was already hype enough to see Len bring out the Kazakhs in this game. But Divine, they know that Alliance, they're prepping Raven to go into the mid lane with some type of assassin, and Coyote, even in anticipation of it, says, I don't care what assassin you pick, I'm locking into Zed. I'm going to take you on in the mid lane.
Guys, Diana, Mika, Diana's, I don't know. It's supposed to empower the Galio, but unless CWJ plays with full AP Galio, I'm not so sure about this. And CWJ, okay, he's an okay player. He's fine. He gets initiative. He does his job well, but that's about it. He's not a playmaker. He's not someone I'm expected to carry. So putting your expectations there might not be the exact play for Alliance, but who knows? I voted for them. I'm hoping that they prove me wrong here.
Yeah, I hope your loyalty will be rewarded indeed. But as we mentioned earlier, the Diana, you know, she might be joining the Sea Chumps list that we had over there, joining Vaya and Nami with like the lowest win rate. We haven't, this is somewhat a foreboding of, you know, a not so good outcome whenever the Diana comes out. We haven't seen a lot of success on this champion. We'll see though if Alliance will be able to turn it around as we head into game 2 of this series. This is Divine Esports and Alliance once again, and you know, Divine Esports, they look like they're prepared, and they look like they have a surprise prepared as well for Alliance. We're gonna see if Alliance though can turn that around. Casters, take it away.
And take it, we saw it's game number 2 of Divine Esports up against Alliance. This is the redeeming arc for Alliance if they can. Enrico, we're seeing a different draft here from game number 1 with Kazakhs for Len, Coyote with Zed, Ash for Azuraveki, Raven. We're going running back it.
All I'm gonna say, I'm worried about Azuraveki here. He is gonna be the primary target of Len and Coyote, just easy backline access, and is able to instantly burst down squishy targets. In Exhibit A, we've got Azuraveki. Exhibit B, we've got Raven here, of course. Well, the shields will definitely help a little bit mitigate the damage coming through. But Divine responding with a 1-3-1 comp themselves, as Alliance also secures a 1-3-1 comp. And that is the interesting part, right? Whenever an Ashe is picked up, I feel like it's perfect for 1-3-1 comps because, again, you will be able to be involved in the split push, or rather in the 1-3-1, just because of that enchanted crystal arrow. You're able to find picks in the side lanes, you're able to follow suit with the rest of the damage coming from SSK perhaps, or even towards Raven.
Yeah, and I think that is what Alliance wants to do. You know what, Jelson has this tendency to be very aggressive in the early game. So if Azuraveki is there, goes for the enchanted crystal arrow, connects and followed through with CWJ with his ultimate, I think that would be the ideal situation for Alliance. But as the analyst Des has stated, Raven, CWJ has to connect to each other if they want to utilize the Galio and Diana combo in this game number 2.
That's a big possibility.
But
wow.
Len pinned down, very low on HP. First blood for Jelson. Alliance takes it down. But here, Hue, body slam onto 2, half HP for Jelson as well. Hooks from Hope 1, a lot of damage. And now Coyote comes into the party, slowed down by the exhaust, forced to back away. 4-man row for Alliance. It's too much to handle, and Divine Esports doesn't want to take it.
This is the strength of Alliance. Their early game aggression, whenever there's downtime, is great. They invade the jungle as a group. They form these dives constantly, either for bot lane or set up for top. And I think the biggest question mark is how they're able to transition that, because so far, even though they've been getting all of these early game kills, it doesn't necessarily translate into successful objective takes, because we talked about the dynamic between Len and Jelson. Jelson always going to be, most of the time, your tank jungler, therefore also most likely going to be your primary engage. Therefore, if you engage first, most of the time, you will die first. And after that, you'll not be able to secure the dragon. And Divine Esports, also they've got Len, who's basically on carry junglers like Lee Sin, like Rengar, like Kha'Zix, and I really like the stark contrast between the two in terms of playstyles.
Yeah, and therefore will crumble down onto Alliance when it comes to the mid game, late game. But we'll see if things are different here. If they could maybe change things up when objectives are up. Because if they can change that, I think they have the potential to scale up into the mid game or late game for Alliance. But considering how Divine Esports has been constantly playing this out, very ramp up type of play style, where in the early game, in the mid game, they play it consistently and patiently, but when it comes to mid game, late game, they just ramp out, exponentially growing when it comes to gold, when it comes to kills, when it comes to objectives. And the thing here is, when we look at that game number 1, Alliance get all these early game kills, get all these stuff, but look here first for Coyote. That Denmark was phenomenal. But
The shadow switch back to the shadow from Coyote was really well played. Able to get a bunch of auto attacks more on towards Raven as the death mark pops. There it is. That's the scary 1v1 Coyote Coyote Zed versus the Raven here on the Diana.
yeah, and going back to my point a while ago, even if Alliance get all these leads, Divine Esports is matching up when it comes to gold. We saw a while ago Alliance take the first blood, but it was consistently very, very close. Even Divine Esports getting a little bit more out of Alliance. But here, we have a fight into the Rift Herald. It's lockdown coming in from Jelson with the Cataclysm. Hero's entrance to follow up. No one will attach to that though. And CW Chase still tries to chase down onto TanX and Coyote, but forced to retreat with a lot of damage and pokes from Divine Esports.
Yeah, good thing Hope 1 is still, still baby Ziggs. Still only having the Luden's Echo, not having big boy damage just yet. Divine at the moment, though, can still get 2 out of 2 early objectives. Air Drake is going to be extremely important between these two teams because of that extra movement speed. Alliance, both of these teams, rather, are on a 1-3-1 setup. Therefore, they would so desire that movement speed buff.
Ooh, Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Almost so close, but TanX at that millisecond sidestep. Miss. And now Alliance still tries to go on. It's Jelson with a Flag and Drag with a knock up onto TanX. Explosive cast almost saves TanX's life, but it was a tad bit too late.
Gotta love the aggression coming from SSK and Jelson. Well, we talked about this again, right? This is the downtime. This is where Alliance shines. Whenever there's no objectives, they're so confident in entering these fights. And most of the time, they are successful with a kill. And I think the biggest question would be always, how can they transition these kills into objectives across the map? Because so far, again, it is Divine that is able to get 2 out of 2 early objectives and is still able to basically have their gold lead, the 2k gold difference.
Yeah, that's the problem. Prioritization, right? Divine Esports Tower First Blood, Cloud Dragon, Rift Herald, 3 out of 3. Right? Getting all this leads them into this position of getting that 1k gold lead, even if Alliance has 1 more kill lead up against them. So we'll see how this transitions later on. And this is not that much of a depreciating value for now because it is only the Cloud Drake, it is only the Rift Herald. Not as if I'm belittling these objectives, but more so, there are more objectives that is so much more valuable later on. The Infernal Drake comes up next, the Baron Nashor comes up next. If Alliance loses this is going to be so much deficit for this team to be able to come back in late game.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like, Alliance has a very, very strong mid-game here. There's a lot of wombo combos involved, top lane.
Look at the shadow. Look at that mark.
Here's
SSK 1
Entrance.
HP. He dies. SSK will lose his life. Divine Esports taking the kill down onto the Baron lane. But Jelson, it is too late. CWJ, it is too late. They did not get that
Good
trade.
lane.
Divine Esports just gonna go out with a kill.
Nicely done by Divine once more. Mega Inferno Bomb is so
Oh,
painful.
look at the flash. Look at the hit. Land gets a kill down. Azarveki just blinks, and then he dies.
Yeah, it's just too painful. Or rather, that's also how squishy you are. You know, Azaraveki throwing in the gauntlet. Okay, I know I'm the squishiest target. I will buy Hourglass Enchant. Okay, here it is.
Please go away. But look here into the top side. It's Jelson. Force the flash away, and Coyote is very low on HP. SSK bringing him down. A kill for Alliance once again. Consistent kills for Alliance, pulling through, but 4K gold difference. Too big for Divine.
Now, right now, Alliance is going to be heavily reliant on SSK setups here. The big AoE stuns, the big delivery flanks, rather, and able to deliver the hero's entrance coming from CWJ. Ideally, you do want to put that towards Raven just to make sure you have better chances of landing that Moonfall without being cancelled. But at the same time, SSK will play a huge part just because of that the CC is definitely much easier to land. We'll see, though, as Divine again. We talked about Poke before. Hope 1 is going to be massive after that Rabadon's pickup. Well, not as massive, but will deal a significant amount of damage already towards Alliance. And the most dangerous thing about Poke compositions is that when there are 2 assassins on the board, it's just so easy to prime for a one-shot, for a one combo shot against Alliance members. And you add in Tanex on this Darius, there's the finisher. There's the Noxian Guillotine.
And now, speaking of the same assassin, that mark onto Jelson puts him at very low HP, and
There.
Land just jumps in, gets the kill onto Jelson. Another jungler once again, lost by Alliance.
And this is exactly what we're talking about every single time. Alliance, downtime-wise, they're great with their dives. They're great with their initiates, their engages. But when it comes to the Dragon, Divine Esports is just always so good at getting a pick and then getting towards the objective, especially when their composition calls for this.
Now Raven, 2v1, tries to go back away, but that actually almost gets a kill down. Will not do so. So Kue will go back away. Raven holds on bot lane.
Able to hold on to summoner spells, which is good. I mean, barrier, very important against the death mark of Coyote here. Look at Alliance, though. They're trying to pick up this tower. We'll see if that's going to be taken down. Yes, that is the answer. Teleport, though, coming in.
Yeah, TPs, it's Stream and Drone for Divine Esports. Coyote comes into the party. Shurikens will not connect. But a huge dodge coming from SSK, but Alliance is going to go back home with the thing that they want, the tier 1 turret top lane.
Yeah, that's still going to be open for the taking. They've got the Ziggs, though. They can finish it off. Hope 1 is able to get that through with a passive. I think a little bit dangerous. Alliance is they're lying and waiting with the wave clear coming from CWJ and as well as Raven. So it might be a little bit too risky. Again, Divine climbing in for an 6K gold lead.
That mark from Coyote. A lot of damage for SSK. Stuns
SSK.
down. Stacy's enchant. Buys him a little bit more time. Shield from his kill, but Guillotine brings him down. SSK will lose his life. Alliance will lose their Baron laner.
This is just them being able to strong arm against the 1-3-1. Arrow!
Arrow is huge, but no follow-up. And Alliance will lose that opportunity. Now Tanek and Len comes into the party,
the
gets a kill
damage.
down onto CWJ, but the Guillotine almost gets the reset down, but Tanek will lose it because Stasis will be done for Azarveki. Now Explosive Cast to try and disengage for Divine Esports, but they lock in. They get the kill onto Kue, and Alliance get that trade happening for them.
Nicely done punish coming from Alliance. Divine felt like they could take Alliance on there under the tower, but pretty much Quay and the rest of the squad were pretty low. Yeah, Coyote was low to begin with. There's no follow-up for this, though, but it still doesn't change the fact that Coyote can't exactly go melee range. He can only poke with the shurikens, can't exactly join the fight anymore. That's why I see him backing away. It was a, 3v3 situation where everybody else from Divine were pretty much very tanky, and, you know, Quay already used his cast, therefore no disengage available.
Yeah, and I think at the very least, they limited the amount of damages that will be done for Divine Esports. Right? Len was safe, only Kwe died, so that was a support for maybe the mid laner for Alliance. So, I don't know. Let's see though, let's see. Because right now, it's still Divine Esports taking the lead. But if Alliance consistently do this, wherein they get those trades, wherein they get those kills, I think this has an opportunity for them to make it back. Since Jelson will be the key here. But let's look at that. Coyote will go for the death mark onto Azora Vecchi. As Azora Vecchi will get eviscerated. And Divine Esports gets one more. Takes 2 kills.
Yeah, Azora Vecchi used the flash, but the death mark wind up basically, air quote wind up basically already kicked in. Fight another.
Yeah,
Another fight.
Moonfall goes for the 2-man knock-up, but Len just jumps in, 1-shot kill, and 2-man apprehend coming from Connect, pulls them through. This will be the 4 kills continuously for Divine Esports as they take 2 out of the top lane.
No jungler, no problem. Divine can immediately start this Baron up. Everybody pretty much low health. It doesn't matter as they've got the shred down on the board. No, again, Alliance is close. No one from Alliance is close to this for a potential steal. And now they have to defend from this. Okay, Raven is wave clear. CWJ is wave clear. Azora Vecchi to some extent, I suppose, with the volley. But I feel like Divine may have a problem, may have an issue because Hope One on the Ziggs just does a much better job wave clearing even with the 3 combined.
Certainly. Right, so I think it's a main focus here right now for Alliance because I'm expecting Divine Esports to also utilize the Baron in a split. You're seeing Coyote in the top side, you're seeing Tonix into the bot side, a 1-3-1 type of setup to pressure in all lanes, which divides the manpower for Alliance to be able to defend. How they're gonna do this is up to them if they could, but if they cannot, this will be over. Divine Esports though almost gets a kill onto Raven, but he dies at the end of the day, and now it's Alliance losing a member with the Baron buff towards Divine, and they need to defend, but Azora very low, CWJ very low, Divine Esports takes the tier 2 bot lane.
What a fight from Divine. We thought that Raven could have survived, but the stacks were just too much. Now look at the death timers. 20 seconds without Raven, and minions are storming the base.
And no one to defend. Alliance, you have to defend it. You have to clear down the wave. Connex is going to have that free time of their life to venture out into their base. Takes 2 inhibitor turrets for Divine Esports, and now the only one left is the top lane. With Baron buff still alive, with control waves for Divine Esports, they're now pushing top lane.
This is going to be tricky.
Lan jumps in. What? That kills down CWJ, the supposed tap for Alliance, and they lost it. Double kill for Divine Esports. They take all of their turns, and Divine is now pulling through. They take everyone away. That's the ace, and Divine Esports takes the second game of the series.
And that's going to be 2-0 in favor of